And we're live. This is the Nifty Alpha. I'm Pio. I'm here with my co-host, the one and only Nifty Nick, and the sophisticated art speculator, now known as Captain Kicks.eth. This is the Market and Trade Talk YouTube show that goes hand in hand with our morning Twitter spaces. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment. Jump in our Discord. You know what to do. Do it. Today's show, we are going to be talking about Wolf Game NFT project, Crabata, and toy boogers. How's it going, gentlemen?
Going very well. Captain Kicks decided to bounce during this intro. Let's jump into the first project. I think is where we should go.
Absolutely.
Happy Sunday, everybody. To the team, the community, and all of our fans out there. Love doing the Sunday shows. So yeah, let's talk Wolf Game. So Wolf Game has really stolen the attention of the entire NFT community over the last 72 hours. It's been a lot of people have jumped in that are influential in the space. Beanie invested in the project, so he's been talking about it a lot. Gary V has been obsessed with this over the last 72 hours. You combine those two people together, and the chance that a project is going to go to the moon is 99%. So just to give a quick rundown about Wolf Game and what it is it's an on-chain staking game. And essentially what an on-chain staking game is you take your NFTs, your characters, whatever, and you stake them to a contract to do something. And then there's different kind of gamification components with these games. But essentially what they're considered in the overall gaming space is an idle play game, right? So it's not supposed to be like an active game where you're running around, clicking your mouse, typing on your keyboard to do all these things. You kind of set your character to do something, and then it idly does that. So this is super popular in the mobile gaming space right now. And it makes a lot of sense why it's coming over to this space. Now, some of the most popular games before this is the DeFi Kingdoms, and what we'll talk about after this, Crabada. But Wolf Game also takes inspiration. There's been, if you guys remember, Anonymize, right? That was kind of the first Ethereum on-chain kind of staking game where you staked to get a token, and then you use that token to buy more of those characters. So the mechanics of Wolf Game have been around. Another one is EtherOrcs. So EtherOrcs was actually innovative, very similar to Wolf Game in the sense of you bought an orc and you decided did you want to level up your orc, or did you want to raid a village and get gear, etc. So Wolf Game isn't completely new in the mechanics, but they added a really cool flavor, which they actually potentially took from Crabada. But the idea of there being two elements to the game, like the farmers and the stealers, right? So basically, how the white paper defines how this works is you have, whenever you mint, you have a 90% chance of getting a sheep. You have a 10% chance of getting a wolf. If you get a sheep, you can stake it to the farm, and the sheep earns the currency wool. And after the initial mint was over, the currency wool is used to mint more of these things. And once again, you have a 90% chance of getting another sheep, 10% chance of getting a wolf. And that is how it progresses. But there's a unique mechanic to it that when you try to take your wool away from your sheep, and some people farther in the game may be butchering this, but if you try to take the wool away from your sheep, there's a chance that a wolf can come and steal your wool. So people have wolves sitting there just staked, and the wolf's job is to try to steal wool. And then you can sell the wool on swap it for Ethereum, or you can use it to mint more of these NFTs.
If you steal a sheep, does the NFT stay present and you get to now hold that, or is it gone?
I'm not sure if I think when you mint, there's a chance that you can lose the mint to being stolen, but then also wolves can just steal the wool from you. So I think once you get your NFT, you only can lose it during the minting. They only can potentially steal it during the minting. Once you have your sheep in your wallet, the sheep itself can't be stolen, but when you stake it, the wool can be stolen. But what's really interesting about the mechanics, and this is important for people to understand why these things pump so high in price, and then why eventually, unless the game can just continue growing at the clip, it usually crashes in price. And the reason behind that is it creates this beautiful kind of Ponzi-nomics flywheel, which is that since everyone is staking to earn wool or to try to steal wool, there's not much supply in the market, right?
I'm so mad about this, missing this. This is just annoying.
Yeah. People made like, if you put in $10,000, you're up like 150, 200, 300 grand right now. But once again, it's a sort of a Ponzi game because not everyone can make those kind of returns. Everyone that's making those returns is by other people FOMOing in to buy them. So what happens is since everyone's staking, there's not much supply. Since there's not much supply, just a little bit of demand causes everyone to buy up the supply and the price goes through the roof. And then what happens because of that, the incentive to now stake to earn wool to mint more becomes even greater. So now the value of wool goes up when it comes to minting. So everybody, it just like the money just looks bigger and bigger and bigger. Since no one's selling the NFTs skyrocket in price. Since everyone is staking, now they're looking at their staking money, and that money is tied to the price of the worth of the NFT, which is skyrocketing. So then the staking looks like it's incredibly profitable. But what generally happens is, and the white paper says this is a 3-week long game. So in 3 weeks, all of the sheeps will be minted. There'll be 50,000 total NFTs, 50,000 total NFTs. And then they do shut down the wool rewards. So like the wool, it won't be like inflating forever. They like basically shut down the game after 3 weeks. So then there'll be a bunch of wool currency. There'll be a ton of sheep and wolves. And then what the developers have to do is then find out, okay, how can we add another layer, another game on top to make wool valuable and to make the sheep and the wolves valuable.
So,
okay,
so we understand.
All right.
That was a lot.
Somebody knows his shit, I'd say. All right, let's party. Go ahead, Nick.
So, I mean, I missed out on this. We were discussing it in the Discord the other day. Here's the deal. There's been so many calls in our Discord over the past few days. I need to learn my lesson. We've just had straight fire coming out of that Discord, and I have not followed anybody yet. Literally one after the next, after the next, after the next. Our community has been just surfacing
guapping
projects like this, basically, and making fortunes. And so
I've made zero money. I've lost money in the past 8 days by selling projects for a loss and buying the top on Cryptoon Goons. Whereas everyone in the Discord is just dominating.
Yeah.
I need to stop working on shows like this and doing crap with you guys and just hang out in our Discord.
No, you show up here.
The thing is that everyone kind of everyone focuses on the winners, right? And doesn't think about the losers in the sense of that Wolf Game is one of those once every 2 months in the NFT space, just in something that just captures the storm of people. It has some like element loot. Of fun. It's like loot. It's like the same loot thing all over. That's the thing is we already had this staking game run. Wolf Game isn't the first of its kind. It's just a lot of people aren't fully informed on the history of NFTs. Anonymize really revolutionized it. Anonymize came out as free to mint, and it went to a 10 ETH floor at the end of it, at the top. EtherWorks came next. EtherWorks went up to a 4 or 5 ETH floor. This game has played out over and over again. For me, as someone that's building NFT games right now, the most exciting thing to me is the core mechanics of this, which is idle gameplay. Because there's so many people out there that want to have a gamified feel to their NFTs, but they don't want to go into a game and like actively click around and spend 4 hours grinding something. Like they want to just kind of set their characters up to do something and then like check back the next day.
By the way, like what we're preparing to launch, if you're interested, is one that you're going to have to work your fucking ass off. Okay. So if you want to experience value and see it appreciate, we're going to make this the most difficult thing. It's going to become your full-time job, except we're not going to pay you. And that's how good we're going to make this NFT. And you're going to want it that bad. I'm just kidding. But only partially. In terms of, but yeah, I love what you're saying about idle gameplay. That's so sick and definitely dynamic to think about. You know, Anonymice is, we've seen that floor pump and dump. And it's one where the problem, though, is like, you know, the distinction is, and what we're trying to figure out, you see us actively doing in the Discord, is how do you scale and retain a community? And a lot of these are not designed around that community aspect of things. Instead, what they're doing is they're like it's all designed around us making just money. And that's the entirety of it within that specific NFT. And it becomes difficult because there's no like advancement in the projects. There's just like this static idea that someone had. And my concern is like the interest in that fades over time. Like iPhone app games or something like that. Yep. All of us have downloaded some stupid, like you can click with one thumb sort of game. And it seems awesome. Like there was this, I've had multiple and I'm like, oh, this is a clever game. But I end up getting rid of it after a week or two, sometimes a day or two, of just being like, cool, that was fun. I played this thing. Now it's done. I've played through it. It's over.
Well, because once again, if there was no money involved, would anyone be playing Wolf Game? No, because it's not that interesting of a game in and of itself. People are playing it because they're thinking that they can make money. Some people have already made a lot of money, and it's relatively way more fun than just buying and holding an NFT. It actually is a game. It does have fun mechanics to it, but it's like not fair to compare it to an actual game out there in terms of entertainment value. People are having entertainment value while also making money. And if you look in the DeFi space, a lot of DeFi projects are taking similar approaches where they're trying to gamify a little bit of what you're doing just to create some more enjoyment and entertainment value. The problem, yeah.
Real quick, Pio, is that wolf wearing sheep's clothing? Sorry,
he's rocking that wool necklace. Rocking that wool necklace. The issue though, for me, is that when these games launch, basically it's a beautiful like tokenomics. I won't even call it Ponzi-nomics. That's mean. It's a beautiful tokenomics flywheel, which is that you have to stake to get something to then mint more. But by everybody staking, there's no supply. So the price goes up, which increases the incentive that even the people minting new ones don't want to sell it. They want to go back and stake it again to earn even more, to mint more. So it's this flywheel, but the core mechanic that is built around is minting. And that's why eventually it doesn't really last, because then once it's all minted, then the whole value proposition starts to unwind. Now, what Wolf Game, I think their intention is, and what is smart, is that right now they're already working on, okay, what are we going to let people do with these things 3 or 4 weeks from now to keep it interesting and build more layers and layers on top? But they're not the only ones to do that either. EtherOrcs has significantly increased the value and the mechanics of their game, but that hasn't stopped their price from going from 4 ETH all the way down to 0.5, just because when the core breeding tokenomics kind of unwinds, then very often the price does unwind. So my suggestion to people out here, if you got in early, ride these gains, baby. You know what I mean? If you didn't get in early, right now you're paying 4 ETH, maybe higher for a sheep. Look at the amount, click the buy now button to show how many are for sale.
My computer's lagging, but yeah.
Yeah, if you click the buy now,
we got 35 for sale.
There's 35 to sale out of 14,000 NFTs. So basically, you're buying a super constrained supply thing, right?
Yep.
So if you think that sheep are going to be 4 ETH when there's 50,000 of them, you're kidding yourself, right? So if you're getting into the game now, you're basically hoping that there's a lot more people coming in behind you where you can buy the sheep for 4 ETH, farm enough wool to get that 4 ETH back, or like grind up enough of the sheep. So basically what happens with these games is the people that get in early get super, super rich. The people that get in during the middle time, they see the money and they make some money, but then the people at the second half of the tail, they're the exit liquidity and they end up getting wrecked. So you just, yeah.
So, I mean, I think we have a thorough, I mean, we understand the dynamics here. It seems like the summary is basically, if you got in early, congratulations. If you didn't, don't, like, why would you go buy this for 7 ETH? It's just a bad move at this point in time, unless.
Yeah, and Kiss Cooler also came out and said because they had an exploit that happened, and basically people found out that they could run a loop on the minting and just fail any mint for sheep, and they just minted straight wolves, which were trading at a premium. Because of that, they shut down minting. I'm not sure, because Kiss Cooler says, I don't even know if they're resuming minting on sheep.
They're probably not, primarily because their random function is not truly random, because it's based off of the block timestamp, which so you can actually predict in advance which block is going to have a specific outcome. So it's,
and my understanding is you can't just change that. You'd have to deploy a whole new contract, right?
Yes, that is correct. You cannot change that.
So now basically a bunch of people are accumulating wool, but they can't. Maybe Wappy, can you reply to this?
You could come up with a subcontract which actually overtakes the minting, which then basically you mint via and you get into that queue, and then that actually handles it so that it becomes it's pretty complicated in order to try and like inject randomization into an existing thing. But the outcome would be there would be a transfer between multiple contracts. You'd mint via one, it would then take that, input that into the next one using its own approach. The problem is, though, actually, you can't change if you unlock minting, you can't change the restrictions on that. So I actually don't know that there is a feasible way to do this other than potentially if they had some method in there where they had a restricted mint form. Mm-hmm. But anyways, there's a couple of things I want to hit on. Also, someone had mentioned the journey stuff, which I keep hating on and then deleted the tweet I want to hit on. But also in terms of this project, there's a couple of takeaways that were mentioned here. One is staking dynamics, very valuable. We've seen this repeated. If you can introduce staking into your NFT project, the odds of it being valued more is higher. What is something that we're interested in doing? Copying all of the lessons from as we're covering this show. So let's be clear.
Well, also staking makes the secondary commissions go through the roof, because staking gets rid of supply, which takes the price off. And so then you're making 5% off of 4 ETH sheep, or whatever. What I want to say is just hats off to the team in terms of making just a really fun, addictingly fun game that a lot of people have aped into. And based on how well they've done, I would bet, like some people are already saying in the chat, that, and this may be because the contract is still paused, but they're gonna launch something else to be able to use your wool. So if the team moves quick and isn't innovative, this game could go on for a really long time in terms of just like the success and the price and the dynamics. But just like anything, there's only so many ways that you can stack value on top of stuff. Without new money has to always be coming in. And at a certain point in time, when the new money stops coming in, it has to be a fun enough game that people are wanting to play other than to make money. And if it can't bridge that gap, then long term the project will probably unwind. But
this is going to be also flooded with people attempting to replicate these different things the same way that we saw loot.
Exactly.
And the reality is we haven't even, it's shocking. No, Kagan said, DM me and said he was chatting with you last night. And
yeah, I shouted you out, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But there were other people. He had previously unfollowed and then I guess followed me back. But anyways, the main point is he seeing people from the Facebook days literally like just now getting in is just like, wow, we are still early. And the reality is like the people who I know that actually know how to build teams are just entering the space now. And so this is going to scale out like over the next 6 to 12 months. It's taken way longer than I expected, to be completely honest. Like I would have expected just a flood of the same that we saw from the Facebook app days, where like a bunch of really talented people entered the space. The distinction is there are a lot of talented people, but they're all just getting stupidly rich on simple apps at this point in time, which is exactly what happened with Facebook, where you could build the dumbest game and make a ton of money, basically. And there were a lot of people that did that. And I think we're seeing some of that pan out here. This is a little more, we're seeing a little bit of level ups here to this thing, and we're seeing a gradual improvement here. This looks better than Anonymized. The art, it's objectively better.
Yep.
Is it the world's greatest art? No. But
the game mechanics are way cooler with like the like the risk and reward. Like, do I pull my wool out? Like I could have a wolf steal it all. Like there's some really fun game mechanics. So for me, from like a game mechanic standpoint, I think that they did a good job innovating and added some really cool game mechanics. I think the team's smart and they just made a lot of money. So they're probably going to layer on other game mechanics on top of this, especially if they have to keep the minting contract down. But
I want Pio to give his take on this, but also we have other projects to cover. We've spent 20 minutes on this one. But Pio, any thoughts on this one outside of the fact that the depression that you've been experiencing as a result of not participating in this, despite the fact that our Discord surfaced this to all of us early on and none of us participated? Which is now a very good leading indicator. So if none of us are participating,
you better ape in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I might buy the top while we're at it. So I got a ping on Friday right before I was going out to dinner with my accountant. The ping came in at Discord doesn't tell you what time the damn message comes in, but I think it came in at about 6 p.m. and it was from Metapunk, a friend of me and Sophisticated Art Speculators, also known as Danny. And basically everything that this guy recommends is usually a hit. He's like a genius. He's really smart. And he recommended this. Of course, I was running out to dinner, so I just didn't engage. Obviously, that was the biggest mistake of the past probably 2 weeks for me. I don't really have thoughts besides the stuff that you guys already talked about. I have a question for Sophisticated Art Speculator. Let's say that one of these, you're one of these people that got in early, you're still holding, and you're staking to get wool. Would you be selling the wool? Would you be holding the wool? Like, what approach would you have if you were someone that did get in early? Maybe you took the weekend off from NFTs. You pop on now and you see the floor on these things and you see how much wool you're getting. What action would you take?
And would you pull that wool over your eyes?
Well, that's the confusing thing, because I'm not sure that and let me see if I can see on their smart contract, but I'm not sure that you can mint any sheep right now, because literally Gary Vee talked about this. There's such little supply that there's sheep now selling. When we started this call or podcast, sheep was at 4 ETH. Sheep is now at 7.5 ETH.
What the hell?
Damn. Yeah, it's getting absolutely wild out there. I personally, would never buy in at 7 ETH. You can just do basic math and understand that you're going to get absolutely just
mangled.
Yeah,
mangled.
if you thought buying,
you interested?
Yeah, so Wappy's saying minting is shutting down. So literally what's happening is everybody's farming wool. You can't use it to mint any more sheep right now, but everybody's still farming it. So there's an increasing amount of wool coming on the market, yet the price of wool has doubled in the last 2 hours. So just think about that. The only mechanic for wool is to mint sheep, which has been down for almost 24 hours now. Yet people are buying sheep for 7.5 ETH so that they can go farm wool, which is doubled in price. Okay, so Wappy has.
I hope y'all have sweaters for this winter, man, because the price of wool has shot up, and we're gonna be cold out there, man.
Listen to this: the price of wool is now 22 cents, right? Is it 22 cents or 2 cents? I think it's.
By the way, I had said we should buy wool if you look back at our DMs, and then it quadrupled in price. So that was.
Wappy has 15 sheep. He's making 150,000 wool a day. Wappy is making $33,000 a day off of 15 sheep. So this is what people are buying into is that, which is what I'm saying is that if you're in early,
Wappy, we're looking for investors.
if you were in early, my first logical response to you, PO, was be like, I would take my wool and I would mint sheep and sell sheep right away since it's a 7.5 ETH floor, but it's a 75 point ETH floor because you can't do that. Literally, you can't make any more supply. So the supply is stuck. People are accumulating more and more wool, and the wool can't currently be used for anything.
I am
Wappy, man.
This is going to be Wappy's biggest his biggest guap by far. I can't see anything else surpassing this at this point in time. This is beyond.
Wappy started hot with us early, like not anonymized Bears Deluxe. He started extremely hot.
An investment fund where we're investing in the people that we pick, because we've been picking straight winners. We got Easy Eats, we got Wappy.
I don't even know if we're picking them. They're just revealing themselves.
They're nice enough.
That's true.
Yeah, they're nice
it's
enough
not like
to
we're like
join
picking
us.
these guys out of a line, and be like, this guy's got the chops. We're picking them after they've hit after win.
Exactly.
But yeah, here's the thing. So Wappy has 15. How many other people have 15? So you probably have 200 people that are making a combined $600,000 a day off of this. They're only making $600,000 a day off of it because there's millions of dollars of inflows into the game. But now it looks like they've completely pivoted the game. They've shut down sheep minting forever. So according to the white paper, it was supposed to go to 50,000 sheep. Well, that minting contract got exploited. They shut it down. Now there's no more sheep to be made, and now they're pivoting.
This is like what happened with Jupiter. We saw the price of Jupiter, triple, and then some new announcement came out where they were giving away the Jupiter for free. But
this is different. The new announcement is making the price going up even more. Now they've just on the fly decided that farmers and shepherds are going to be minted next. And that's what everyone's preparing for. But at the end of the day, you just got to ride these things out. These things can go absurdly past any expectation that you think it could go, because FOMO creates more FOMO and more FOMO and more FOMO. I can tell you, though, for almost certainty, if you're buying a sheep for 7.5 ETH right now, you're going to get absolutely destroyed.
I'm so mad.
They're trading every couple minutes. Like I pulled that up. It was very small. You couldn't see. They're moving at north of 6 ETH every couple minutes. And hundreds.
It takes 48 hours to unstake your sheep.
Yeah, but it's 24 hours for you to get paid your payback period on this investment. This may be, I don't know if this can stay over even 4 ETH for 24 hours. This is literally the best, maybe one of the best Ponzi's we ever seen. And damn, and I'm not involved. Ponzi. Okay, shut the show down. This is complete garbage. I'm so mad.
If you're late to the party, the best play is to play the next best derivative that comes out.
Yo, the cost of you minting our NFT just went up. Okay, you gotta give us one sheep in order that the three of us can split. We're gonna give you 10 future Nifty Portal NFTs in exchange for it. That's what you get right now.
And I mean, like once again, the whole like you get something and then you get something else has been going around for a while. Just people need to be, just be smart out there. Like, probably don't buy a sheep for 7.58.
So let's discuss. So we understand Wolf Game. Everyone in there who owns one is a complete loser, and they're not going to make it. Let's move on to the next project. We were going to discuss Crabata. I feel like
we can skip it if we want, but the reason why I brought it up is Crabata is the exact same game mechanics, except it's crabs, and the crabs go mine, or you can make a team of crabs to go raid the people mining. It's the exact same mechanics, but similarly bonker things happen with this game. Original crabs were selling for like $100,000 to $170,000.
And we got Whale Game, and we got another one coming out, which is a straight copycat of the Wolf one. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but it was in another one in our Discord.
The vampire.
I'm gonna have to find out what it is. My friend's wife has been in the Discord. She's been sharing. She's had some great calls, actually. Her trading. I'm gonna have to find her in here, but I forget her username. But anyways, I'll find it off during this. What you brought up Journey Crypto there for a second. we can address this. Oh, the price dropped below 1 ETH. Shocker. That's
Why does it
literally-
say volume traded as zero?
Oh, that's
though?
not the real one, dude.
It's not the real one.
Everyone else got scammed.
So yeah, you were talking trash to Journey Crypto on Twitter, right?
We can mention that in a sec. I want to get to Toy Boogers as well. But here's the deal with, dude, just go to his Twitter.
I know it's not the right one. I'm going to.
In terms of Journey Crypto, so we're discussing Toy Boogers or Journey Crypto. Which one?
Toy Boogers for now.
All right. So the deal with Toy Boogers, they came out with this contract that they said, I'm not minting this. By the way, I didn't mint. It was actively discussed in our Discord. The price of mint yesterday was 0.05 ETH. You've now made 600%. Congratulations to everyone inside of our Discord. We're not going to make it. The host here, and I'm just getting real mad, man. This is an angry Sunday for me, to be completely honest. I was feeling.
Why didn't you buy wolves? Why didn't you buy any wolf game?
So
how many did you buy, Sophisticated? How many did you buy?
I'm up like $600,000.
Okay, get the hell out of here. So in terms of Toy Boogers, Nick would have quit by now. Okay, so
I could have quit off my sandbox play. I'm here for the love.
So Toy Boogers, this one, they had a contract improvement, which is why I wanted to discuss it. I did a live stream yesterday on Zoom, and I walked through and we did a code analysis of their code to identify what the issue. I found another follow-up. I'm going to live stream that to our Discord again with the second part of what they added for efficiency gains to their code. I've been analyzing their code. They made a couple of modifications to the standard Open Zeppelin ERC 721 contract. And what they did was they managed to reduce the cost of gas for buying and transferring by 90%, which is pretty insane. So if you go try buying one of these right now, I don't know if you managed to load up the other Journey Crypto project yet, but if you try buying that one and look at what the gas fee is versus look at what the gas fee is on this, it's consistently lower, which is pretty shocking to me.
They wrote a good contract.
Well, they modified the standard one, which makes me wonder, like, it's good until it gets exploited. So that's like in the space in general, you don't want to modify Open Zeppelin contracts, but I could see them improving this. And I'd like to get verification from some of the Open Zeppelin people as to why they wouldn't adopt this for an updated one, because it's costing so much gas. That's the most compelling part of this project. I don't know anything else about this. That's what intrigued me. Some of the art is interesting, but like, again, I had said I'm not buying anything right now because of gas exploding. And so like, that's been my position basically, or sorry, but my thought is that ETH was going to spike.
Well, and ETH is moving up, but it's moving up smoothly, and also altcoins aren't ripping. Because I actually think it's the altcoins ripping that clog the network, like when Shibu is pumping, because a lot of these altcoins, they have like, it's like
Shiba.
a complex, it's a complex smart contract, you know what I mean? Where they're like, every transaction, they're like burning a percentage off or moving it to the treasury. It's complex and it eats up a lot of the bandwidth. So like, as long as ETH moves slowly, like it can keep going on. But this is exactly what we talked about at the start of this. We said, what happens? You get your blue chips going, then you get your mid chips going, and then it's like mint anything season. And that's exactly how it played out. Look at the blue chips. Bored Ape Yacht Club has retraced from 53 down to 46 or something
45,
like that.
44.6 is where we're at right now.
Down to 44.6, right? So the blue chips are retracing. Mid chips, you saw like Doodles go up to like 4, it's down to 3. So they've, the mid chips have made their run. And then now it's the bottom of the barrel. Like all the profits have now trickled down and everyone's playing the funny money at these games. I mean, it's insane to think about that people are paying 7.5 ETH for a sheep instead of a Cool Cats or 2 Doodles or these other things. But that's just how it works out in the late cycle of this trickle down thing. So yeah, I mean, the question is if crypto really takes off like you're predicting, Nick, then it will hurt projects mostly like Toy Boogers that are like in that 0.3 range. That's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
Wild times for sure. If you're in our Discord and you're glued to your computer screen, you're probably making more money
We've
than
had so many 3, 4, 5, 600 X's, 1,000 X's basically is where we're at with
No, literally think
Wolf
about
game.
this. Wolves were 0.069 to mint 72 hours ago. They've done a 70x in 72 hours. Think about that. Cool Cats did a similar
100X.
profit, but it took them 2 months. This project, it's taken 72 hours. So, what goes up, gravity eventually will catch up, and you'll meet your
That one's
maker.
pretty cool looking, and like that looks different.
You like this octopus?
That's not an octopus, in case you're wondering.
Now for Toy Boogers, didn't you say that there
It's a
was
snake
some,
with an octopus head?
was like Gary V excited about this project or some?
Yeah, and now like Gary V's doing like a periodic show maybe twice a week where he brings on artists and basically like pumps these projects.
Pumps them.
It's like pretty insane to see. I guess he talked to his legal team. It was like, yep, good to go there, Gary.
Pump it up. Pump it up.
You're good to go. Bring on the projects and talk about them, and they will 10x. Now, one of the projects that someone mentioned in our Discord the other day was this one's about to be on Gary V's show. You could have bought it for 0.08. It went up to 0.8 immediately. And that was
the lady apes or whatever.
Our Discord yesterday. There were about 5 calls in our Discord yesterday.
and literally, if you literally buy anything Gary V talks about, the second he talks about it, you're going to make so much money.
Win.
Literally, Sheep was at 2 ETH 2 hours ago. Gary V tweeted, he literally said, "How can I be excited about the Jets game? Fuck Squid Game. It's all about Wolf Game." And then he deleted that tweet. I'm not sure why. Maybe because he's like worried about pumping it some more. But then he goes into Discord. Then he goes into Discord and talks more about Wolf Game, and the price has skyrocketed from 2 ETH to 7.5 ETH in 2 hours. So literally, if Gary V is talking about a project, dude, in like a FOMO, a frothy cycle of NFTs, that's a 100% win rate play.
The stories are going to get to a point where Gary V told me to buy this thing and I lost my house. Like that's where we're headed basically. And I think that's why he's deleting these tweets is because this is 7, 8 ETH is no joke.
No joke.
Yeah.
So let's discuss this one. Speaking of people losing their shirt on projects potentially, this Journey Crypto, I had tweeted and then I deleted the tweet. And here's my only issue, and we discussed this before. This is a Fiverr designed mint pass by someone that already has millions of dollars. Okay, so let's start with this project. Journey Crypto, huge following on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. And this guy has already at least a couple $1,000,000. When you have an audience that size, you're already making at least $1-2 million. Like a year should be like where you're at. Like especially if you have, in their case, non-transparent pumping of different projects who are sponsoring you, which is really how the majority of these crypto YouTube channels are. We are the only one that has not done that yet. Wait till we're going to get our money and we're going to screw all of you over. I'm just kidding. We're all about the community.
And Nick, I have a question for you about this guy because I saw your tweet. Were you saying was he bearish on NFTs up until October?
Yes. Literally,
like the whole space.
And the majority of crypto YouTubers, that was why there's this space that enabled us to actually have an opportunity here. Is that literally all of the crypto YouTubers were ignoring this, like this thing is a bunch of bullshit and people prefer crypto tokens.
And then they saw someone make a bag off of it, like the 2+2 Genesis.
And
then they go, "Oh crap! NFTs all of a sudden I care about them because I can make a quick bag."
Suddenly he's like, literally his YouTube video says how you're going to make 1,000x trading NFTs in this. This is a video he made in October, which is literally the worst time to be buying into it. Like we're going into like an extended.
He was bearish the whole bull run,
the entire bull run,
and then October decides to like it, probably decides to like it because he knows that he's going to want to milk the community.
Well, let me tell you,
with
the
a
end
big
of that
cash
video
grab.
is him saying, but let me tell you about my project, basically, that's coming up. And that complete bullshit that he delivered is so absolutely ludicrous. And not only that, now he's basically telling everyone to buy it, associated with the Doge Pound one, which I like the concept of what Doge Pound has done. I just know that all the people in that community are pump and dumpers, basically. Like the people who run those sorts of things have made a ton of money from doing that, basically. And in this case, this guy's going to walk away with $40 million. And this guy off a piece of shit designed Mint Pass. And he's calling himself an artist. He says, I'm going to make the art. That's what he said he's going to do. A guy who's not known for his art is designing this hot garbage, already has millions of dollars, and doesn't even take the time to even hire an artist to do this thing. Artists aren't that expensive. You could get a sick artist to design this thing, and it's not even clear what he's going to be building with this. So, like, the fact that he ended up going and then, like, in October is telling everyone to buy NFTs. Here's a brilliant one you should buy in October. Bored Ape Yacht Club. Wow, great pick there. You're a genius. You picked that in October. And actually, to be fair, I think October may have been a lull in it when we got down to 20. Like, Bored Apes got down to 100,000. We're now at 200,000. But who on, like, how many of the people that are looking for that 1,000x gain in their audience are genuinely going to be able to afford a $100,000 purchase of a Bored Ape? And if that's all of your money, that's the worst thing that you can basically do.
Terrible.
Is take all your money and put it into one individual NFT.
Yeah, so it seems like this guy learned from Bernie Madoff. He's a Bernie Madoff apprentice. I mean, honestly, I
don't think he's Bernie Madoff, but he's just saying.
But what I would say, dude, is if you're raising $40 million like this and it fucking crashes and burns, if I were you, I would be worried about lawsuits. I'd be worried about federal investigations. Like, I'm not saying any kind of like
Bernie crypto.
Bernie crypto.
Bernie crypto. I'm not saying that like, you know, I'm not justifying that like anybody should be launching projects where their only goal is to line their pockets and not actually deliver on something. But like, if you're gonna do that, do a little $1 to $2 million pop. You start raising $40 million. You're hopping on radars. There's people that go to federal prison for stuff way smaller than that.
Well, he's saying, I already bought an office, like a big building, and I've already started hiring a staff for this. But it's like, what? So you started building this project and now started investing and hiring people proactively. What's the business? Like, what are they doing? And why haven't you been selling anything so far? And what business did you build in the past? What the hell is this garbage design? This is like not even a full, this Mint Pass doesn't rotate 360 like the other ones. This is even cheaper. I mean, I guess the coin inside of it is rotating 360. So that's pretty cool. But like, so we got a 360 and within that is not like a partial angle adjustment. So like, that's kind of cool. But like, it's just offensive because this dude was like skeptical of NFTs all along until he figured out he could make some money. And there's a lot of people in this community that are doing the exact same thing. And I've been selling those NFTs. I bought them, thought they sounded promising, and then I sold them because there's going to be a lot of people in this space that make a ton of money. And they've done that in the crypto space with plenty of tokens where there are people who make money off of pump and dumps. And there are pump and dumps that sustain a long time, Doge Pound or Dogecoin. I don't know about Doge Pound, but Dogecoin. And so I just think that's we have a major potential here. It's not even 180 degrees crypto breezy. It's more like 60 degrees, I feel like, is what we were seeing there on that rotation. So I think what's going to happen is we have the pre-full launch pump, and then we may see a dump on this, or all those Doge Pound people end up buying this. But like,
here's my thing, man, is, if sheep are 7 ETH, maybe this is worth 15.
Well, look, I am pretty well versed with all these, like, sort of the audience of the crypto YouTubers. So I have some good friends that they're into it. I don't know why, but they're into it. They're into Alex Becker. They buy the things that like Journey Crypto and Alex Becker put out long before they would buy like a doodle. Like I was talking about buying doodles at 1 ETH, and they were kind of like, okay, yeah. But then it's like Journey Crypto, it's literally like, where do I sign up to buy the Journey Crypto NFT? So there's certainly an audience, and there's definitely a sort of, it's onboarding new people to NFTs, but it also kind of introduces this sort of side market to the NFT space. What I would say is you want to buy NFT native people's NFTs for a safer investment. If you really want to take a risk and you just think this guy Journey Crypto is so like he has the aptitude to really make this thing go up in secondary market price, then okay, cool. I guess you can take a risk on this. But to me, it's just an absolute no-brainer really to buy like a dead fella before you buy this. I would buy a dead fella.
That's what someone's saying. He has 103 Bored Apes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got 103 Bored Apes. So, that doesn't change that he's a crypto YouTuber pump and dump guy, and it doesn't change that his audience are the people that are entering.
Get the Bored Apes?
Well, so he has $20 million worth of Bored Apes is what that means. $20.6 million of Bored Apes, but he needs to raise $40 million from his following.
Well, when did he buy those apes?
I don't know. Some people are saying April. I do remember seeing him buying it and us going crazy. And I like this guy's YouTube. The irony is, like, I like the guy's YouTube, but it's just disappointing to see this.
He literally minted them. Then how was he bearish on NFTs if he minted Bored Ape Yacht Club?
He watches his October one. I feel like I sent you guys the link. I'll post it somewhere in our Discord.
Maybe he was just saying that he was bearish in October, which isn't a
no.
Weird
he said
thing.
I've been bearish on NFTs for a long time, basically, and but I like so. For him to mint it, maybe it didn't cost that much, but whatever it was, someone's saying we got a lot of defenders in the comments. Maybe I'm completely out of line here, but like. I'm still disappointed.
Well, he's got real fans, dude. His fans are going to show up and they're going to defend the shit out of him. And he's being super aggressive on Twitter. He's being super aggressive on Twitter about like all the haters and stuff. The bottom line is, dude, if you really want to give your audience a win, you do what we're going to do and you put out the NFT for cheap. You don't need the 40 million bucks. You make an assload of money from Twitter, from YouTube. You make an assload of money from sponsors. You make an assload of money holding Bored Apes that are worth 20 million bucks. You don't need $40 million. It's cool that you can, go ahead and rake in 40 million bucks for yourself, but don't ever disguise it as something else. Like you're going to take 10 to 20 million of that, like to whatever his name is, Tony. Tony is taking 20 million.
I'm so confused now because now another guy says, Jason Connor says he didn't mint Bored Apes. He does not have 103 of them.
Well, we can look at his wallet and see how many he actually has.
At the end of the day, like I don't mind people if people want to pay for what someone is promising to deliver, then I'm fine with it. If this guy was bullish on NFTs and
he does. I'm looking at his Bored Apes. He has tons of Bored Apes. It may be 108.
Now click on one of them and see when he bought them, like if he minted them.
I
don't know what his wallet is.
Dude, just look up on OpenSea Journey Crypto. His username is JRNY Crypto. No spaces. He minted it. He minted them.
Yeah, so I don't want to trash a guy for like hating NFTs being early if he actually minted them in April
and held.
Like I think that's actually
Yash
badass.
Says next topic. Yo, Yash, go buy these. Dude, just go buy his NFT.
Yeah, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, if he's raising $40 million for an NFT project and he hated NFTs 2 months ago, then I'd be the first one to call him out and be like, this is an absolute crash grab. He doesn't know what he's doing. But if this guy minted 103 apes in April, held them the whole time, then I have to think that this guy actually understands NFTs, has been in the NFT space for a while. And I would give him some respect and say that, hey, fuck it, dude. Why can't he raise $40 million if Planet DAO can raise $40 million? You know what I mean? Like I can't like hate him for like shooting big. And if you really, and it looks like he really has 103 apes, like that's badass. So I'd give props to him. And then it makes sense to me why people are buying in. He's the #1 holder of Bored Apes right now. The #1 holder.
That's crazy.
There's not a single person that owns more apes than him. So to me, it sounds like he's pretty NFT native in terms of, just, his repertoire. So I would give him props and say, fucking get that bag and execute, because we may look like the dumbasses 6 months from now if we trash him.
Probably will.
And he builds something, great. So I would say that I'm not on either side of the fence. I'm in the middle. I don't know enough about the guy, but hearing that he minted and held 103 apes and is the number one holder of apes, I got to give respect where it's due. I got to give respect
Absolutely.
for that. And
I agree.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. This is a dumb thing. Don't mint it. He's an idiot. But I'm just kidding. It's so weird. Like, it's just weird to me why he didn't like make something. This looks literally like there's probably a stock image or of that he got this from now.
Because here's the other thing. Alex Becker's doing a project. His like Neo Tokyo Genesis are like 13 ETH floor. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of big crypto influencers in this space that are raising a lot of money. And sure, some of them are probably not going to work out and crash and burn. But I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'd say, hey, respect where it's due. This guy's a fucking winner. We're just I don't know him, but he's a fucking winner.
Well, he's definitely good at making money. And I think the thing that I'm sort of thinking is like, what are we doing? Like, our bar is too low right now. We got to elevate it higher, and we really need to take advantage more of our audience. And so that's something that we haven't fully materialized yet. But don't worry, we're going to get there, and we're going to fully exploit you.
We're going to take advantage of you. We're going to take advantage of you, just like Journey Crypto.
If you have a good game plan, you should fund it. You know what I mean? And I believe in our game plan. I'll tell you what, with the amount of money people made off of Wolf Game, I don't think we should be charging 0.033. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? But like, what I'm trying to say in all reality, though, is like what we did at Crypto Raiders is we did a cheap mint to start off. And the reason why that is a valuable play is because if you create a community that you've taken care of them and they're up, not just you're up, there's a real value to that. Especially if it's your first project, especially if you're new to the space, building with like making it very affordable and then letting it go up. But if you have a big plan, big vision, you need big funding, like, we can't hate on people for doing that, especially if we can't look into the future and see if they can execute it or not. Because if you take that equivalent to the tech space, it would be like shitting on Facebook because they raised $100 million when we launched a project and we raised $2 million. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to raise different amounts of money based on their past, their experience, their repertoire, and all of that. I think the general thing that we're concerned about, especially Nick, which I think is very valid, is we're concerned and worried about people that are new to this space and don't have the ability to properly think about the pricing of something and just kind of blindly buy into something based on what they're hearing from other people. There's definitely someone out there who has racked up a net worth of $200,000 in the crypto space. Here's Gary V pumping Wolf Game to the moon and just made a $70,000 bet, half of their stack on Wolf Game at maybe the top, and they're going to get absolutely wrecked. And that, if you have an ounce of empathy, if you're in this space, you're worried about that. You know what I mean? You don't want people to get wrecked. And so I think that's where a lot of the concern comes from, these big buys, you know?
Also basically, you're about to have, every YouTuber is about to have their NFT launch. Like that's essentially what's about to happen. This guy made $40 million is what he's about to walk away with. 10 million so far. And like, it's even if it's 20 million, doesn't matter. This is an insane amount of money. And
it reminds you probably of the ICO in 2018, probably the .com bubble in the late 90s, when websites without revenue or a real roadmap are out raising $200 million. It's mania. There's no way around it. You got to call it mania. There's no in the last 10 years, there's been no other opportunity where you can just in a 2-month span raise $40 million out of thin air, right?
And can I add to that? Thank you for saying that, Kix, because that just sort of like made a bell go off. This could be the sort of beginning of the bubble bursting when every YouTuber, we got Becker with that 13 ETH floor. I don't know what he made on the primary sale. Knowing Becker, I'm assuming it was a bag and a half, because you just have to keep in mind, these guys like Becker, and look, I get people like his shows. I'm not saying he's an unethical person, but at some point, I wonder when monetizing your audience sort of becomes a little bit. Let me just finish, Nick.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit too much. I'm just saying some of these guys are worth like $100 million, and then they do an NFT drop and really like strive to just maximize like the dollar profits. Journey Crypto bringing in 40M. If Elio Trades drop something, if these other big crypto people just come through and all start netting 10 to 20M on NFTs, I have to assume a bubble will burst, and I have to assume that liquidity is going to get sucked out of those projects, and the projects will go down by 50, 60, 70, 80%. I could be completely wrong, but there's only so much money in these spaces, and this could be the start of a bubble. I just want to throw it out there.
So the start, so like, bro, we've been living through the bubble. So that's
and Becker's project was apparently free to mint. You just
it was free. Okay.
You know,
got it. I mean,
so that's
I'm really pissed though that
Props
they launched Wolves before us, because the thing I've been thinking about, like for like if we do an avatar, what it would be, I wanted to do potentially Wolves, like Wolf of Wall Street style, was the idea there. Someone says, please stop talking. You're making a fool of yourself. That's our show. Apparently you don't understand this show. Well, you can go to another show.
The guy's name is Shada14. So don't get too insulted from Shada14. He's probably 7 years old. Okay, he just learned how to use a computer, and he's talking trash on you. You ever play video games? The 7-year-olds talk the most shit in video games. You get wrecked by some dude, and then you hear this like squeaky voiced kid tell you to like suck on his nuts or something. That's video games, and it's coming to the NFT space. So buckle in.
So,
well, the other thing, real quick, you could tell, like, look at how passionate the fans are. Like, we do the show 7 days a week. We do it every day. So we have a sort of a calibration on what the people that comment are like. Look at the comments here. These are fans of Elio Trades, Becker, and Journey Crypto. Please like and subscribe, fellas. You can come and make fun of us anytime. Please like and subscribe.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. And Chada was actually apparently saying that Becker did have 2 projects that were minted for money. So you're the smartest 7-year-old kid I know, Chada. You're the fucking man. I'll tell you what.
And you're welcome.
Chada, like and subscribe and go in the Discord and talk trash about us in there too.
Just realize though that if you're younger than I think 13, maybe we're gonna have to kick you out of the Discord. I don't know what the rules are, but there are some limits. So I think 13 may be it. We may make ourselves 16 may be the limit. I don't know. We just gotta. We want to be careful about who we allow in and who we don't.
I just say we do it like the video game approach, where you just ask them to verify their age, and that's the only thing you do. Like you know what I did just to test? Yeah, I made my birth date on. I played some Diablo the other day. I made my birth date 1928 just to see if they would be like, we don't think you're actually playing Diablo at age 100 or whatever, or 93.
I'm the oldest man in the world.
Yeah.
So, well,
we're seeing wild stuff in the market right now. I think that's a great way to kind of tie all these things together. We're seeing Wolf go from 0.069 to 7 ETH in 72 hours. We're seeing people making $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 a day off of Wolf Game. We're seeing big projects raising big amounts of money, 40 million here, 20 million here, 30 million there. It's definitely a little bit frothy out there. But the other thing we have to keep in mind, and we can circle back to what Nick said, just having a conversation with people that were early on Facebook, and they're just now thinking about getting into NFTs. So I think when we talk about the macro level environment, it's still a very, very exciting space to be in, especially if you're building, especially if you're participating in these communities. I think that we're still very early. My personal thesis is that when we see frothiness like this, it usually simmers down and corrects itself, but we're always going to have frothiness happening over an NFT like bull run. So I don't think that just seeing this kind of frothiness right now is necessarily that it's all going to pop and explode. I think it's heavily tied to the NFT space. or the crypto space. But if you get mass adoption and more people coming in, there's all sorts of things that could happen. But I'm still overall long-term bullish.
I couldn't agree more.
Fantastic way to wrap. That was so awesome, Captain Kicks. I want to do the outro today. Keep the tunes going. All of Becker, Journey Crypto, and Elio Trades, and all these people's fans, subscribe to the channel. Get in the Discord. Talk smack.
Put it on there.
See, look, this is what this show's about, is Nick being a bossy jerk and telling me to do things on the screen when I'm running the technicals of the show. Okay, I'm running the technicals. Hey, Journey Crypto fans, Becker fans, jump in the Discord. Talk smack to me there. That's where I want to get your smack talk. Like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't buy our NFT. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not, what do you say?
At the end of the day, we want all of you to make it. We want all of you to make it. So have fun in this space. Look for opportunities to make money.
Someone says, why my smile look like a boomerang? That's hilarious. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, so Chida is still going. So I just want to acknowledge Chida. He said, it's just about every piece of information you put out was wrong. Journey bearish on FTs is top Bored Ape Yacht Club holder. Wrong. Becker making a ton of money on Neo Tokyo when it was a free win. Wrong. Elio making an NFT soon. So Chida, go and express your frustration in our Discord. Subscribe to the YouTube. Like the videos. And you don't have to give us any money. We're going to give you money. I'm going to give you ETH directly if you pop in the Discord. I'm going to give you 500 ETH right on the nose. So
Dude,
you're one of the richest.
Like boomerang. It's hilarious.
And you're probably one of the richest 7-year-olds out there. So I just want to give you respect. And when you get to the age of 18, if your parents haven't taken all your money from you, invite me to those sick ass parties that you're going to throw, because they're going to be dope because you're making that money. Hey, Nick, can you tell him he's making that cash?
You're making that cash. What is this chart on this? Can we let's just be us. There we are. The final three.
Chada.
Be in the Discord.
Everybody that came for Journey Crypto and stuff, subscribe.
And make sure, do it, everyone, just in case you didn't hear, Nick did make an official recommendation to get in on Wolf Game at 7 ETH. He did a quick analysis and he thinks it's only up from here.
Do not do that.
With refunds.
Financial advice. Thank you.
With refunds. No, so look, I'm bullish on Shada, Matthew. See, like Matthew's over here. I mean, look, it's a fair take. I'm bullish on him.
Chada.
Wait, how long should we stick around for a second so Nick starts really getting uncomfortable? How uncomfortable can we make Nick?
I thought the 13-year-old